Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Will and welcome to Copper Jacket TV. Sorry I haven't made a video in a few days. Every year when the kids start school again, they bring some new sickness home and makes its way through the house, and this year I got it pretty good. So again, I was down for the count for a few days, but I was still paying attention to what was going on out there. And unfortunately, we need to talk about an amendment that was just made and an update to California's AB 1078, which is the new 3-a-month bill that looks like it's eventually going to be signed by the governor. This is in response, or this amendment was made in response to the Ninth Circuit's decision in Nguyen v. Bonta, which overturned California's 1 in 30 law. So that decision had a direct effect on AB 1078. We need to talk about this update and the effect that it will have on this bill if it does get signed. So this is kind of an important one. Stay tuned. Now, real quick before we get started, this channel is proudly sponsored by Attorneys on Retainer, who is backed by Attorneys for Freedom, the only law firm in the entire country that does nothing but self-defense cases. These guys are the self-defense experts. So if you're somebody who carries to defend yourself or your loved ones, or maybe you just keep something in your home for your own defense, having an Attorneys on Retainer membership should be part of your self-defense plan, because heaven forbid you actually find the need to defend yourself. You don't want to go at it alone. If you're a member of AOR, you call the number on the back of that card, you speak to an actual attorney giving you instant attorney-client privilege. They will activate their quick response team and they will be there to speak for you and defend you throughout the entire process. They also have civil liability coverage, red flag coverage, online education training, and so much more. Again, this is a crucial piece of your self-defense plan. So check out the link down below. There'll be some discounts down there as well. Okay, so let's go and talk about what's going on here with these recent updates and the amendments to AB 1078. These are some very important updates and amendments that have been made to this bill. Now, this bill has already made it past the Assembly completely. It started off in the Assembly committees. It passed through the Assembly committees and made its way to the Assembly floor. It passed the Assembly, it went on to the Senate committees, and has made it all the way through the Senate committees. It was recently voted on by the Appropriations Committee. It was 5-2 to pass it to the Senate floor for a vote. One more vote before it makes its way to the governor's desk. Now, before it goes to the Senate floor, there were some amendments that were made to this bill just a few days ago in response to the Ninth Circuit's recent decision in Nguyen v. Bonta. Some parts of AB 1078 were contingent on the outcome of that case. That was an extremely important case. Nguyen v. Bonta overturned California's rights rationing law, the law that said you could only acquire one firearm every 30 days. The Ninth Circuit essentially said you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to limit somebody's rights to a specific time period or tell them how often you're allowed to do that. Well, in response, they made these amendments, and unfortunately, they have not backed off of this bill at all. Now, there was a couple different amendments that were made to this bill, and we actually now have an effective date for this bill, which is really important. But the first thing they did here was to strike the language that was contingent on the outcome of Nguyen v. Bonta, which is proof that this bill was meant to subvert the will of the court. Win or lose, people in California were going to have their rights restricted, and the state of California is going to tell you how often you're allowed to practice your Second Amendment right. But you can see here the language that was stricken. It says, if a mandate is issued following an appeal reversing the district court's order and judgment, this bill on the 30th day after issuance of the mandate would decrease the number of firearms that can be purchased within a 30-day period to 1. So if for some reason the state won, maybe it went up to en banc review and they reversed it on appeal, and so the state ends up winning, this bill, even if passed and signed by the governor, would have reverted back down to 1 a month. So it would have upheld that. But if they lost, and in this case they did lose, they make sure that the bill continues forward with 3 per month. So again, all that language has been stricken, and now it's purely a 3 a month. Now, in this next amendment right here, we actually have an effective date. If you take a look at all of the previous versions of this bill, this date is not listed in this paragraph here. So they've added the blue text and they've stricken the red text where it says this bill would, beginning April 1st, 2026, so in less than a year, increase the number of firearms that a person can apply to purchase within a 30-day period from 1 to 3. Now, on top of being completely unconstitutional, I'd like to point out that they also got their numbers wrong here. Bunch of geniuses over there in the California State Legislature. They are not increasing the number from 1 to 3 with this bill. As of right now, with California's 1 in 30 law struck down, they are decreasing the number to 3 from unlimited. Because as of right now, there's nothing stopping you from getting as many as you want. This bill would decrease that number. So they're keeping in the language that says that this would increase it from 1 to 3, when in reality, with that law overturned, they are decreasing the number to 3 and telling you once again how often you're allowed to practice one of your constitutionally protected rights. This is absolutely absurd. It is unconstitutional, but this is what California does. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about what the courts have to say. They care about their own personal agenda, and that agenda is disarmament and disarmament of the California people. This is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, there's going to be multiple lawsuits that are going to file this. Following what Sam Paredes said, there's going to be lawsuits, you're going to get sued, and you're going to lose in court. And I believe that that's exactly what's going to happen. But in the meantime, they're going to enforce the law just like they always do, regardless of its constitutionality. That's why I'm trying to keep you guys updated on every stupid little thing that they do with these bills, even if it kind of becomes monotonous to talk about it all the time, because it is that important. California is screwing you over again. So anyway, I wanted to share that update with you. We have some new amendments before it goes to the floor for a vote. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button, scan that QR code, and help support the channel and help spread the Pro 2A message. You guys have a good one.